Hi there, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today I'm going to talk to you about how you can build your own insanely profitable pay-per-lead brand. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you one of our brand templates and also a template of a funnel that sits behind that brand where you can send your paid traffic. Let's get stuck in and enjoy. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about the story behind how we kind of fell into creating our own pay-per-lead brand and what that looked like and why we did it. So back around 2015, 2016, my memory's a little hazy, well, actually, I used to go to a B&I meetings, okay, and that was on a Wednesday morning, and one day I got introduced to a client who was generating leads in the debt consolidation space. And back then, you know, I probably had about 10 clients that were paying in between £500 and £1,000 per month. I'd quit my job and I was looking to grow my agency. I just didn't realize that there were these big clients out there. And I didn't understand how big this client was, but I was kind of a little bit green. And what happened is that we started doing some good work for them. We were running AdWords search leads and we're running Facebook leads, and we were generating a lot of leads for these guys, and we're able to reduce their cost per lead, and it blew their business up. And I think we were getting paid on a retainer basis. There was a little bit of the incentive if we did well for the client, and I think they gave us a few extra £1,000 here and there for the extra work that we'd done. But I was young, I was hungry. I think I had my first staff member at this point in time, and we worked day and night for these guys to be able to generate them a lot of leads and help grow their business. But what happened, I think he was not particularly good with his finances, and he started making big promises to some of the people he was white labeling the leads for, or whatever he was doing. I'm not sure what was going on, but he ended up, and I learned a valuable lesson from this, that he couldn't pay eventually. So what happened is that I was chasing invoices and all the usual stuff with retainer clients. You know, it was really tricky to get paid. We delivered the work for them for the month, and they still owed us an invoice. I was being manipulated, and eventually it got to the point where we were, okay, this is it, this is done. I'm going to write off the money that they owe, but I'm going to take what I learned from all of this hard work that we put in. I'm going to build my own brand, okay, in this space. And I know there's lots of lead buyers in this vertical. I'm going to reach out to all of the people on LinkedIn that I know are business owners in this space, and I'm going to build a brand in this vertical. And that's exactly what I did, and that turned into something that was insanely profitable and much easier than this retainer relationship that I'd had that was keeping me up at night. What have I learned over the years on why having your own brand and your own asset is such a valuable thing to do if you're a lead generator? Well, as my business evolved and as I was able to become more experienced with the way that I generated leads and the way that I did business, I figured out that, you know, having one brand as a central hub was very powerful, because there's lots of different ways you can generate traffic for that brand to start off with. Okay, the first one is obviously paid ads, and that could be Facebook. You can also run search ads, you can run GDN traffic, you run Twitter ads, and then you can look at SEO for your brand. SEO is a powerful one if you want to grow a long-term presence and potentially sell your brand. So that's a big plus, is being able to sell something that you create to one of your biggest clients. And then I started figuring out as well that there's clever kind of software that sits behind these brands where you're able to distribute the leads to different people based on the criteria of those leads. So if you have your brand and your funnel, you can have unlimited clients that sit behind that funnel, which allows you to sell 5 leads to client A per day and 100 leads to client B. And you can put filters and caps and all of that to be able to also sell to different people based on the criteria of the leads. So if the lead is an unemployed person versus an employed person, then one client loves unemployed and one client hates unemployed leads. So you're able to put filters in there if you ask the questions in the funnel and sell to different people at different prices based on different criteria, rather than working on a one-to-one basis with the client and sending all the leads to that client. So, you know, there's lots of different flexibility and options for you when you have your own brand. You're in control of your own destiny. The other thing that's really quite powerful, if you do have your own brand, is you can use your brand as sales collateral for landing clients, especially if your brand, and I've spoken about this before, has a little bit of pizzazz and style out there. I'm sure if you're in the UK, you've seen some brands like tom.co.uk or Dead Happy. Some of these brands they really go after a smaller segment of the market. That's modeled after what the client actually loves, what leads the client actually loves. So when you're able to show them a brand or a website that goes after specifically the leads that the client loves, of course they're going to fall over themselves to be able to buy leads from you. So having a brand allows you to just have something that's much easier to sell. Which is why pay-per-lead is really great if you have your own brand. Okay, so now if you bear with me, I'm going to show you pretty much what a kind of brand looks like. My videographer is going to kind of merge me talking and a screen flow of what that brand looks like and what the funnel that sits behind that brand looks like. And hopefully you can make sense of it to get a good visual of how it works and how you can do this yourself relatively quickly. So I'm not going to share with you any live verticals that we're in because that's kind of confidential. But inside our training over at Flexxable, we have a brand called Biz Car Quotes, which is a dummy brand that we built that enables people to the consumer to be able to come into that funnel and buy a car through their business. Okay, you might have heard me speak about this before. But what we do and what we recommend if you come into our program is that you buy a domain name and then you build a WordPress site on that domain name, and we've got templates and all that type of stuff for you, which you'll be seeing now. And that URL that you buy and that brand that you build is the one that you can SEO optimize. It's built in Elementor, which is the WordPress plugin, and it's relatively easy to do and fast to get set up. Okay, and what we have behind that brand, the homepage of that brand has usually got a bit of personality. It speaks directly to the consumer. It's easy for them to understand what's going on. And you can also do some cool stuff like have a kind of chatbot type thing that really impresses the hell out of clients. And it's something that's a little bit different that they haven't seen before. Okay, but we don't actually send any traffic to that homepage. This homepage of the website that's built on Elementor is purely for SEO purposes and also as a kind of like a postcard or a brochure for the client so they can see it and go, wow, I really want this. The magic is that, and all clients don't always understand this, is that we have a funnel that sits behind that brand, okay? And my videographer is going to show you what that looks like now. And that homepage, that funnel page, we always build in Unbounce. That's our very best landing page builder. It's got the most flexibility, the best split testing features. It's just an awesome tool that we use all the time. And what we do is, if we're running a quiz, we call it a quiz funnel, we use software called LeadsHook, which is a survey tool that sits on that funnel, which you'll be seeing now, which takes people through a series of questions, which helps them figure out whether or not the consumer is a business owner or a consumer, whether they want an electric car or a diesel car. All of that type of stuff you can actually see on that page, right? So after the consumer goes through that funnel, answers all the questions, then what usually happens then is they go in, and I don't want to confuse things too much, but they go into our lead distribution software, which then allows the lead to be sold to multiple, like I was explaining before, to be sold to multiple buyers at different prices. It's all automated and it's done very easily and simply. And the tool, we use a tool called Get Cake for that, but the entry-level tool that we always recommend for people coming into our program is a company called LeadBite. You'll be able to see a link to that below as well. I think also for our Unbounce link, I think we've got a 30-day free trial there as well. And obviously Elementor, I think it's a free plugin or it's very cheap. So this is kind of what our brand looks like. You've got the Elementor homepage on WordPress. You've got an Unbounce funnel with a quiz embedded in it, and then you've got the lead distribution software that sits behind that called LeadBite. I hope that's a fairly good indication of what we do and what works for a lot of our people inside our community. So at this point, and obviously I don't want to share, what I do inside my own agency, my own brands, because people just rip that off, right? But a company that's done this very well in the UK, and I mentioned them before, is a life insurance business called tom.co.uk, and these are very much lead generators. So I think they were backed maybe with some money to begin with and some investment, but the important thing to note is that this website goes after a niche, a segment of the market, which is dads. And they, as I said, they added some real personality to the website. You're able to see some humor. There's stuff that dads can relate to, like them changing smelly nappies and just getting up to all sorts of mischief as dads and getting a lot of stuff wrong. So people can relate instantly to that brand. Okay, and it had some real personality, and you can bet your bottom dollar, and I don't know who was buying leads from it, but you can bet your bottom dollar that there were people, the clients were falling over themselves once this brand was kind of presented to them when they wanted to buy leads. All right, and the important thing to note is that it's not it's not the early 2000s where you had to know how to code and you had to do all this kind of funky stuff to be able to create a website that looks like this with some pizzazz and personality. All right, you can pay someone $5 an hour to create a website for you if you have the idea and the big picture idea behind it. You can get graphic designers for cheap. You can put all of the pieces of these funnels, all of the pieces of a website like this together and do exactly what tom.co.uk has done for your lead gen brand. And you can use that as leverage to reach out to a lot of clients in the vertical that you're after. And you can do whatever you want. The world is your oyster. There's really big opportunity here. And that's why someone like tom.co.uk has recently been sold. I know this for a fact, and I know that it was for a vast sum of money. So there is opportunity for you lead gens out there that aren't thinking on the big scale to be able to build something that makes you a lot of money. All right, so as I also promised at the beginning of this video, if you do want to get we'll send you the URL over of what our homepage looks like and what our funnel looks like behind that homepage, so you can have a bit of a squiz and figure that out yourself. All you have to do is email dan.wardrope@flexdigital.com. That'll come up on the screen now, or comment below and we'll reach out to you and send it to you via Messenger or whatever that looks like. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today.